You can't 10x a company year over year for 10 years as CEO and be mom or dad of the year, going to every soccer game, every theater show that your child puts on if you have 4 kids. Think about time commitment. We're all optimistic to doing everything. You need to be realistic in this phase and build a life by design. Goals are a target people try to hit. Commitments are things that people don't go home unless they're finished. What do we need to accomplish this next year to set us up to be well on target for where we're trying to go in the next 10? It's important to be realistic. We all want to be optimistic as business owners when we're talking about big ideas and big projects and creativity. This is operations, so we do need to be realistic here. Welcome to another episode of Special Ops Podcast, where we take actionable insights for direct response marketers and e-commerce sellers. I'm your host, Emma Rainville. Today, we are diving into one of my favorite subjects, yearly planning. At Shockwave, we utilize a foundational framework called WAVE, and every year we revisit it so that way we can set off running at the new year. So 2026 is no different, so come on and plan it with me. We're going to be talking about our foundational framework, WAVE, written vision, absolute focus, values-driven future, and execution plan. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly, and you at home can go ahead and go into our visionary vault at www.specialopspodcast.com. Sign up for our free vault. There's tons of resources in there. I'm going to have a 1-page PDF on how to do your WAVE. There'll be more resources on WAVE if you're interested in there. So WAVE, what is it? So written vision is where we're going to start. The first thing that we need to do is understand the destination before we start planning what to do. Otherwise, we're all in canoes rowing in different directions. If we all know where we're ultimately going, then we know exactly which way to paddle. So we're going to sit down and we're going to write just a paragraph on what 10 years from now looks like. Where are we trying to go? What does your company look like in 10 years? What kind of products are you selling? What kind of services are you providing? What type of customer is your avatar? And I want you to spend some time going deep on that, but make sure it matches your personal life. You can't 10x a company year over year for 10 years as CEO and be mom or dad of the year, going to every soccer game, going to every theater show that your child puts on if you have 4 kids. So I really want you to think about time commitment. And while we're all optimistic to doing everything, you need to be realistic in this phase and build a life by design by you on what you want out of it. So year 10, what does everything look like? I'm selling X amount of products, or I have X amount of services with a full C-suite staff handling the majority of the delivery. I'm responsible for big projects and big relationships, big ideas, while my team executes. We are selling to direct response marketers and e-commerce sellers in the direct response space. Our revenue is $10 million a year, and our profit margin is holding strong at 24%, something like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to think about what milestones we need to hit in the next 5 years and the next 3 years. We call those flash forwards. Those will be bullet points. At 5 years from today, I'm going to have added, if I want 24 products by year 10, how many do you need to have by year 5 in order to hit that mark? So most people would think we automatically have to be about halfway there. That may not be the case. We may need to develop a manufacturing plant in year 1 and then be able to get all our licensing by year 5. And a lot of our products are going to come in the later half. So you can think that through, but you're going to put your bullet points. So perhaps we have added 10 products to our product line. Perhaps we have added a full-time CFO and COO to our company. Perhaps we have taken customer service in-house or, created a proprietary blend for a supplement. You can go through and think through where you need to be from today to 5 years from now in order to hit that 10-year glimpse that we've created in the previous step. Then we're going to do the same thing for year 3. So if today where we're at We know where we want to be in 5 years. What do we need to do between 1 and 5 years on the third year to make sure that we're well on track? And all of this is just to set a target so that not only you know where you're going and what you need to accomplish, but also that your team knows, because then your team can not only make those micro decisions, they can make those macro decisions to run the day to day to your business, because everybody knows where they're headed. Makes everything a lot easier. So we've got our 10-year glimpse. We got our 5 and 3 year flash forward bullet points on milestones. Now it's time to get really serious. That's all very movable throughout every year. When you go through and you do this, you'll change your 3 year, you'll change your 5 year, you may even change your 10 year, and that's okay. But your 1 year, those aren't goals. We call them commitments at Shockwave. Goals are a target people try to hit. Commitments are things that people don't go home unless they're finished, they're done. So what do we need to accomplish this next year to set us up to be well on target for where we're trying to go in the next 10? And what are those things going to be in deliverable? So it wouldn't be, I want to hit $10 million in revenue. It should be, I want to launch 5 new products. Here are the products. Here's how much each product's going to do for a total of 10 million in revenue. So you want everything very connectable. You also want to be able to set KPIs to each of the commitments. What is the definition of done? And what is the number that you can look at as a business owner, week over week or bi-weekly or monthly, depending on the size of your team and how much you have going on, to make sure that those things are well on track to get done by the end of the year. And so that's your written vision. Pretty simple stuff. You want to think through what you want to do. If you want to meet the love of your life in the next year, but you have yourself grinding 70 hours a week for work, those two things are probably going to be very difficult to navigate. So make sure that you look at both and make sure they're realistic. Because we're calling them commitments, it's important to be realistic. Well, we all want to be optimistic as business owners when we're talking about big ideas and big projects and creativity. This is operation, so we do need to be realistic here if we want good morale and good culture. The next part we're going to look at is absolute focus. We all know this. We all have this issue. We see opportunity everywhere, and it causes it to be squirrels everywhere, taking our concentration off of our main objectives. So I want you to sit down and I want you to write down, what is your absolute focus? What are you absolutely focused on in your business? For Shockwave, it's helping entrepreneurs in the direct response marketing and e-commerce space realize their vision through operational excellence. And so for you, it may be to help all of those who are willing down a path of health. If you're a supplement provider, it may be something like to provide customers an X niche, excellence in customer service if you're a customer service provider. You get the idea. So you want a statement that says what you are absolutely focused on. And whenever a new opportunity arises that doesn't fit our commitments for the year, we can test it against our absolute focus. Does it align? Does it fit? Does it make sense? And if it does, where do we put it on the shelf so we can bring it to the forefront without throwing wrenches at our team? And that's absolute focus. Yo, we interrupt this pod to tell you to like and subscribe. What are you doing? Why haven't you liked? Why haven't you subscribed? Just subscribe. What's the problem? In all seriousness, subscribe so that you get notifications every time we drop new content. Additionally, if you have not signed up for our Visionary Vault, what the hell? www.specialopspodcast.com. Go sign up. It's free. We never try and sell you, and we're putting all kinds of stuff in there to help you with the operations of your business because we're passionate about it and we want to share operational excellence with our direct response e-commerce and online selling family. The next one, values-driven future. This one's my favorite exercise. I think that it's highly important to have an avatar for your staff, your employees, and the people that you work with. They're the representation of your business, whether it's someone in marketing writing emails on your behalf or a customer service agent answering your phone. They should align in your values. They don't have to align in your skill set, but they should absolutely align in your values. Some of the values that we have at Shockwave is proactive problem solver. I'm not a big fan of working with people. will see a problem that's going to arise and not fix it before it does. So that was a big one for me. Integrity is a big one for me. I want to believe everything that you tell me every time you say it when you say it. Those are the types of words that we're looking for in these values. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and think about 3 to 5 people that you've worked with that made you happy to work with them, that excited you and challenged you and pushed you. And then write down the values that they had. Were they super honest? Were they hardworking? Did they think outside of the box? Were they a 3D chess player? Were they a proactive problem solver? What were those things? And just jot down all the words that come to mind when you think of these people. And then I want you to go through and get rid of the words that mean the same thing. You can't have integrity or strong character if you're not honest. So with honest there, you can cross it off because that's built into integrity and character. So you'll just go through and you'll narrow those down to your 4 to 6. I can't live without these. But they need to be you too. So I can't choose to have detail oriented on mine because I'm not, believe it or not. I have people around me that are detail oriented for sure, but that couldn't be a value in my company that would be extremely important to me because the fabric and the details is completely lost on me. I'm a big picture person. So because I have to live, breathe, and emulate these values always, they have to align with who I am as a person as well. So once you have your 4 to 6 values, we're ready to move on to our execution plan. And our execution plan, you'll do every quarter. You'll take your 1-year commitments and you'll think through Q1 of 2026. What do I need to do to get me well on my way to completing all of my commitments by the end of March in 2026? And those I do call quarterly goals, and we'll take the goals and we'll set them out, and then we'll write out what are all the resources you need in order to achieve those goals and who one person on your team or you that's going to be responsible for achieving that goal. You can only have one person responsible for the outcome while many people may be contributing to the overall goal. So once we have that all aligned and done, we've got our written vision, we've got our absolute focus, we have our values-driven future, so we know what we're trying to accomplish over the long term. We know what we're absolutely focused on doing. We know all of the people and what they're going to be and what they're going to emulate that are going to do it all. And then we know exactly what we're going to do in Q1 to get us way on our way. And so there is your wave for 2026. Run on over to www.specialopspodcast.com. Sign up for our free Visionary Vault. I got some resources in there that you can look at. I've got a 1-page PDF on the wave process to kind of help you, guide you through. Probably will take you 3 to 4 hours to really go through if you're doing it right. And we will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe so those notifications hit you.